Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the American Investor Show. Please click subscribe if this is your first time listening. From trader and CEO interviews to breaking news about companies you won't hear anywhere else, nobody does a better job at keeping you in the know when it comes to penny stocks. The term penny stock generally refers to a security issued by a very small company that trades at less than $5 per share. Penny stocks are extremely risky, yet they offer rates of return on investment not seen anywhere else. The host, guest, and callers are not registered financial advisors licensed by any government entity, and therefore, the following should be considered entertainment. The host, guest, and callers disclaim all liability in the event any information, commentary, analysis, opinions, advice, and/or recommendations prove to be inaccurate, incomplete, or unreliable, or result in any investment losses. Before investing in penny stocks, you should consult a professional to determine what strategy may be best for your individual needs. Now, without further ado, your host, Lasal Anungu.
Live and direct, ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Sal in the building. Let me know if you can hear me clearly. Shout out to the people in the chat room right now. I've been looking for a way to jump back into the conversation here. And with this situation with Trump and Mexico now, it just goes to show you how freaking just distracted this White House is. So we're going to talk about that today. All right, I'm loud and clear. Shout out to Ryan Gitsit, Londale Carter, Quintavious Lanier, Mandy B. Shout out to the people in the chat, Mr. JRH. Shout out to y'all, man. God damn, y'all been listening to me for a long ass time. Shout out to all the people coming into the chat room right now. Get something off my chest real quick. And pay attention, we got a new call-in line. We got a new call-in line number. So I got to, Skype was just horrible. I don't know. Skype had just flipped up and couldn't mute the sound or whatever. But back to what I was going to say. At 2,800, I got very, very excited that this could be the beginning of the end. Right? 2,800, I got really, really excited back in March. And in fact, if you go back and look, that was my last show, was around then. And I would be lying if I didn't tell you that I was extremely ashamed and more so embarrassed that the market kept going up. More so embarrassed than anything. But now with the recent turn in events, the selling pressure, I feel vindicated now that we're below 2,800 again. I feel vindicated. I feel good, man. Because I something in my spirit just told me, I know we can't keep going up. How? Real estate sales down. PMI down. Global finance. Italy down. Germany down. England down. Australia. We can't keep going up. And sure enough, now back at the lows, back below 2,800, now sitting at the 200 moving average. And you bulls are fighting. I give it to the bulls, man. I got to give it to the bulls. Clap for them, man. I'm gonna clap for y'all, man. Y'all are fighting to the death. I respect you. I respect you. You're fighting for your lives because you know below that moving average I have on the screen right now, those are the selling triggers. You know it, I know it. And you're fighting for your lives. I got it wrong. I admit I got it wrong back in early March. But this time, something feels different. Something feels different. And I'm more than ever now appreciative of the fact that, you know what? Sometimes you're gonna get it wrong. And I've gotten it wrong before, but that felt different the first time. But now, if I'm wrong again, I'll accept that I'm wrong again. But I won't lie that something feels a little bit different this time. Something feels a little bit different this time. 310, I'm going to have you on the show in just a minute, 310. Let me get this off my chest first. Shout out to the people in the chat room. Anthony Smith, Nelson Rodriguez, Michael Milken. This right now, this is a daily. This is not weekly. This is daily. All right? This is the daily chart. If you're looking at the weekly, hey, great place to be, right? Great place to be, accurate signal by all means. But you're watching your investments go down if you're on those higher time frames. And you better be hoping to God, if you're long, that something turns around, because this is coming right for you. Look, it's coming right towards you. It's coming right towards you. All right? And you watching the bond market, they're already running for the hills. They're already running for the hills. They're already running for the hills when you look at the bond market. Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, today's topic, again, Mexico is now in the eyesights of this administration. And, what can we do, ladies and gentlemen? But to identify what could possibly be next, who could be the biggest loser in this situation, we need to identify what those tickers could be. We need to identify what those tickers to be and take positions accordingly. Now, here's the thing. The news was that Trump announces tariffs on Mexico starting June 10th. But what also came out today, this came out this morning before the announcement. Trump's trade war is forcing American manufacturers to move production out of China into Mexico. There's no way you can run. The man's crazy. The man is looking to get that 0% interest rate. We're damn near already at zero, but he's basically trying to get it to zero. But guess what? It's not going to work this time, because we're already practically at zero. See, he's trying to get the market, the Federal Reserve, to lower interest rates down to basically zero. We're back. We're already there. 5 basis points. We're practically already there. You're already getting the money for free. You're practically already getting the money for free. So he's going to get it 0%, and it might get a pop. We know, what's his name again? He's got a black sounding name. Who's the guy who runs the Fed? I forgot his name. It starts with a T or something like that. It's got like a black guy's name, right? Tyrone or some shit like that. Y'all know who the Fed president is. Shout out to Kenny Dutton. What's up, Kenny Dutton? He's got some black sounding name. What's the name of the guy who runs the Fed, man? Let me see. Fed Reserve Chairman. What's his name again? Jerome Powell. There you go. I don't know why I call him Tyrone, because he's got. I've never heard of a white guy called Jerome, so I just thought it was funny as shit. He's a pushover, so he's gonna get his 0%. And I said, it's not going to work this time. It's going to keep going lower. In fact, this is going to be a disaster. Watch that new Peter Leeds video. Shout out to Peter Leeds. He just put out a new video talking about this could be one of the greatest disasters ever. And again, I'm so happy that I got that video out there of inverse ETFs, because I'm telling you guys right now, if you're not interested in buying puts, if you don't have the cash to short, I'm telling you guys, who've got the $200 to spare, who've got the $300, the $500. Some of those inverse ETFs are where you're going to want to be. You go and look at some of those inverse ETFs when they were back in 2009. Go see how high those things went. Those are where you're going to want to be if you don't have cash like that. You can come out of this recession. You went in there with $1,500, $500, whatever it is. You come out of there with, 5, 6, 7 grand on the other side. That's not bad. It's not bad for someone who's basically started out with no money. Everybody who's going to look, everybody and their mama is long. Everybody and their mama is long. The guy who runs your 401k, your 401k is long, right? Because they don't let you go short with your 401k. I used to work in corporate America. I know. I try to look for some inverse and try to they don't let you buy any inverse ETFs. You're going to buy this damn fund that's got like Microsoft and a whole bunch of other boring ass shit that gets like 3% a year. So everybody's long. Everybody's going to be a loser. Who's on that side of the trade? Everybody's going to be a loser. So you guys who don't have a lot of money, recessions are great. Bad markets are great because you have the ability to be nimble. You got people who got 2-3 generations of wealth, sitting on 500,000 shares of Ford and GM and some of these old ass companies. They can't get out like you. They can't get out like you. The kind of tax bill some people are going to have to swallow if they go and sell now. They can't. So they got to take the hit, literally ride it down. They got to write it down. So, ladies and gentlemen, I back to the subject again. I'm trying to look for some good Mexico tickers, but unlike China, we don't have as much in terms of ETF exposure to Mexico, even though they're one of our largest trade partners. I was actually quite surprised. We don't have an inverse for China, but that's fine because we can stay on the U.S. side of the border, and we understand that many of our largest companies are based down there. Watch General Motors tomorrow. This is going to be ugly. This could possibly be ugly. Already pretty, beat up on the RSI as it is. Very bearish over the last 2 months, 3 months here, General Motors. So already a stock that wasn't sitting very pretty. GM at 34.82. I like stocks like that. And shout out to Bad Scientist because he talked about, these very liquid stocks between 25 and 50 where you can buy very, very inexpensive options. Shout out to Poker Pro. So that's an opportunity for you there. Londale Carter bringing up SQQ. Yeah, SQQ. I mean, all of these are turning up now. I mean, look, as you can see here, shout out to everybody who watched my latest video, there was 1 second before last, where I'm talking about this new 80-40 theory, 20-60 theory by Mr. John Hayden, guy who wrote that RSI guidebook. Great video. If you haven't watched it, I really tried to, condense it into a quick to watch kind of format. 25 minutes was the best I could kind of squeeze it in. All these inverse plays are turning around. These are great places to be for a very short period of time. So all of these are going to move pretty nicely over the next coming weeks, particularly because I know the Mexicans, they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop coming to the border, right? Because there are no jobs in Mexico. There are no jobs in Mexico, particularly if you're low skilled, you don't have any education. That's who's coming across the border, particularly individuals who have little to no skills, lack education. Mexico has no use for them. They know they're coming here, and Mexico is glad to get rid of them. Why? Because they can cross the border and do what? Send money back to Mexico. So if I'm the Mexican government, I don't want them here. I don't have to take care of them. Just send them across the border. It'll be America's problem. And then they'll turn around and send me money. It's a win-win for Mexico. Trump knows it. So he's trying to stem the flow, but I doubt anything is going to take place because Mexico doesn't want to lose out on the money. That 5% hit, let me tell you guys something. That 5% hit isn't as bad as how much they could possibly lose if they stop letting immigrants cross the border. They're sending them a lot of money. It's called remittance. They're sending a whole lot of money back to Mexico. Fuck 5%. Someone says laborers are the underbelly of the U.S. They work hard. They have integrity. I don't doubt that. But American citizens work hard, and American citizens have integrity. So I'm gonna put American citizens first. I don't doubt that about the people who come here. You come here from another country, you're undocumented. You got no choice but to work hard. There's no other choice. There's no choice. But modern American society wasn't built on undocumented workers. All right? Absolutely. USCO. Let me tell you something. You go to Mexico, you take your ass to Mexico, it's Mexico first. Okay? Let's just keep it 100. It's Mexico first if you take your black ass over to Mexico. It's Mexico first. And they're going to let you know about that. They're going to let you know about that. Did somebody type in? Oh, BMM. What's BMM, bro? I don't know what this ticker is. BMMJ, low volume. Looks like it's some kind of OTC stock that's been on the move for the last couple of days here. Don't know anything about it, though. Body and Mind Incorporated. Nice move, bro. I don't know who that is. Mondale Cardi said, "America first. Why is that such a bad thing?" Hey, look, I don't want to go into that part. I just want to make some money. So I don't want to get political because people get offended about it. I just want to make some money. That shit. But I want to take advantage of this political situation. I got dreams. I got dreams that I got to make happen. So, where's the money? How can I take advantage of the situation? For a long time, I just had a feeling for a long time, so many traders were incorrectly judging the amount of global risk that was on the table. Let me tell you something. We got North Korea, Iran, Venezuela, now Mexico. That's too much going on, folks. There's too much going on for the market to still be, trading as high as it is right now. We got nothing coming out of Iraq, and now these people, these neocons are up in the White House trying to start something with Iran. I got guys who I went to high school with who graduated a couple years before me, fucked up in the head. I went and visited home. This guy was inside the Walmart banging his head on the cash register. I'm in the back in the electronics and I'm hearing people scream. So I'm coming up. Lately with all the things that's been going on when you go out in public, I'm, very aware of my surroundings now. I'm like, oh, if shit's got to turn up, I'm going to have to, pull the thing out or, grab a knife or do something, because I'm not going to be a victim. But anyway, I come up to the front of the store and this guy, mid-30s, slamming his head on the cash register. And it's a guy who who went to high school with me. I think he probably was a junior when I was a freshman. You know, and he happened to go to war in Iraq and came back fucked up. So we've got a lot of issues out here. And now we're on the brink of possible war with Iran, creating a new generation of people who are going to have some issues. A lot of risk on the table right now, man. A lot of risk on the table right now. You know. And if I believe the wealthy are as smart as I think they are, they're going to take some of their positions off the table. They're going to take some of their positions off the table. RGSE on the board right now. Poker Pro from Arizona bringing that up here. Looking very good. Moving very nicely over the last 3-4 days here. Let us know what's going on. Looks like they've got some good news. All right. In regards to what's going on with that company, let's see if it holds on. It looks they've broken out of some short-term resistance here. All right, so trying to head out for that 200 moving average. Let's hope they can keep it up. Nice play for the small caps. Nice play for the small caps. Said people going out to buy more crypto. Yeah, you can definitely do that. I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's going to be crypto. It's going to be Bitcoin. I know there are a lot of other shit coins that are running right now. There are a lot of other shit coins that are running right now. But I mean, look, it's just go with some Bitcoin, man. A lot of guys who are just trying to go for that like 20-cent coin and hopefully it'll double to 40. Sure enough, it could very well happen. But the shit coins, they're difficult to buy. It's pretty illiquid sometimes. Just go with Bitcoin. Not my thing. Again, I've always told if people really want to do that, go into that GBTC. Make it easy for yourself and get yourself in some GBTC. Moves very much the same way. Obviously, not 24/7, but you get similar exposure without the bullshit and having to use two different apps, unless you're with Robinhood or something like that. But very liquid and moves as aggressively, if not more aggressive than Bitcoin to a certain extent. Yes, indeed, Juan Perez. Appreciate you, bro. Let's take a look at what you guys are looking at, man. All right. Yuma Energy. Yeah, crude hasn't been doing so hot recently. Yuma Energy, oil and gas, but crude hasn't been doing so well. And I'm not sure. Is it just the fact that the dollar's rising? Is that causing crude to sell off or what? But not a good thing to have an increasing dollar and a WTI that's falling, right? Many of these third world countries, they depend on high crude prices to pay their U.S.-based dollar debt. So if you're a country like Nigeria, or you're a country like Russia, you're a country like Pakistan, not Pakistan, like Iran, or any of these other countries, Saudi Arabia, you depend on high crude prices to pay that debt. So now you got a double whammy with increasing dollar prices, right? So now everything in your country is expensive, and the revenue that you need is going down. That's a very, very bad thing. That's a very bad thing. Very bad thing. It's about to get ugly, folks. And this time, if I'm wrong, I'm going to be happy to be wrong this time. But all signs look like it's getting really, really ugly. They're already reassessing this past GDP number that was complete bullshit. Everybody knew it was bullshit. First quarter GDP, everybody knew it was bullshit. Probably going to end up being revised negative. Somebody said FAZ gap between 228, 234. John Hill, is this the FAC? Is it the FAZ you're talking about? I don't think it's this. You're probably not talking about this, but man, I got it confused with something else. But yeah. FAZ, by the way, is a pretty, this is again a leverage ticker, so you don't sit in it for too long. And by the way, these are going to be reverse splitting soon too. It's not going to hurt you, right? It's not going to hurt you, but just know you don't have too much time before these reverse split, and it's going to maybe timid your gains a little bit. It's going to timid your gains a little bit, but those are good. Those are good place to be in right now. I mean, yeah. Somebody said look at the monthly on VAS. Yeah, I mean this is rising RSI, climbing up. All right, these are stocks that have been beaten down for a long time, guys. Look, we've been in a bull market for 11 years now, whatever it is. We've been in. Good times have to come to an end too. The party's going to have to end eventually. And when the party comes to the end, that's when the small investor, if you're not $1 million liquid, this is going to be the fucking best time in the world to be a trader. It's going to be the fucking best. Yeah. Wherever that bottom eventually ends up being, oh man, can you imagine some of the deals that you're going to be able to get? Good quality blue chip companies, possibly for pennies on the dollar. Pennies on the dollar. Go back and see some of those 2009 prices, man. I just wish I was awake. I just wasn't aware of what the market was. I knew what the stock market was, but I just wasn't, mentally there. Would have loved to have gotten, great companies like Netflix at the time. All right? Would have made a lot of money. Let's take a look. Somebody said, what do I think about Roku? The streaming boxes are always going to be winners, man. Look, at the end of the day, people are cutting the cord now more than ever. I was bearish about Roku, but I didn't understand the business back in 2017. I was very bearish about Roku. But as I did more research over the last couple weeks ago on this, they're changing the game, man. They're making it easy for you to take the system on the go, right? It's nice, it's small, it's portable. People take it to people's houses. They take it to college and the dorms. And, they are making life hell for the Verizon Fioses of the world, the Charters of the world. So they deserve to be winning like they are, man. I think this can keep going. This could very much keep going. Now they've got to get that cash burn situation out, figured out. But hey, they're not Uber. They're losing money, but they're not Uber. And then things are working out for Roku. So, look, Roku, YouTube, these are the next CNBC, not CNBC, but CBS's, NBC's of the world. Somebody had told me, oh man, wouldn't you love to be on CNBC? Like, fuck it, I'm on YouTube. I can say whatever the fuck I want. This is where they want to be. They're posting on YouTube, just like me. The attention is here. The attention is here. All right. So shout out to companies like Roku. They're going to keep doing very, very well. And I don't doubt it. But again, just be careful for the, be aware of things change. But for the most part, I think companies like Roku and Netflix, again, if they can get their cash burn situation figured out, but these could be considered recession-proof businesses. When you really think about it, thank you, SEC Trader. These could be recession-proof businesses. Nicholas Coles, man, you know what? If there's one company and its slide that I regret not being live for, is Tesla. Because I was incredibly bearish about Tesla and have been for a very, very long time. Even though I think a lot of the hate towards him is a lot of time is jealousy. Kind of like what they're doing to the guy who owns Facebook right now. A lot of it is jealousy. But Tesla just couldn't figure out, and I just was done talking about cash burn. That's the situation with Tesla. It's just too much money being lost, keeping the business alive, and not enough revenue being generated on the other side. Yes, I appreciate it. Hit that like button. Now, where Tesla is right now on the RSI, this is going to make for a nice little bounce here soon, because again, the mathematical capabilities, below 20 RSI, it makes it very hard to keep going down. It's like a stock above 80. It makes it really hard to kind of keep going up above the 80 RSI. Now, over the course of a period of time, but for the short, even for a couple days, it's very hard for a stock to keep going down below 20 RSI or keep going up above 80. For a short, we're talking about a couple days here. So you could get a bounce here too. And another chart that looks like this is NVIDIA that I saw today. NVIDIA looks very similar to kind of situation there. Here's another one, sub 20 RSI. I'm looking at this as a possible, particularly if we open down tomorrow on NVIDIA with a gap down. If you get a gap down, because NVIDIA, again, these are another one of those companies that you got a lot of tech that's built in Mexico. And in fact, I think Apple makes some products in Mexico as well. iPhones are made in China, but I do know they also have exposure to this Mexico situation. Londale Carter said, you wish you got into the market long ago. I was told that the market was a loser's game. Oh man, millions of people are born thinking that the market was a losing game. Let me tell you something. You got an entire generation. When I, for the 2 months that I thought I wanted to be a financial planner, right? Going to school at Wayne State University. And one thing I quickly realized is that Detroit is predominantly working poor people. Most people in Detroit earn less than $34,000 a year, the overwhelming majority. And the people who have money are old as fuck. They're, tend to be baby boomers on the older side of the baby boomer range. And these tend to be people who kind of got in during the good parts of desegregation. So they got that good GM job really early. They were the first person on the plant floor and shit. So they were so risk adverse. They when you would get a chance to speak with them and you looked at their portfolio, they were so risk adverse. They missed the dot-com boom. They missed dot-com. They missed 08, 09. They basically, an opportunity to double, triple their wealth. They didn't do it. They stuck in these government bonds and, so, you got a guy who's 78, years old and sitting on, $210,000, which should be about 1.5. Which should be about 1.5. So now he's not going to leave anything to his kids who are in who are in their mid 40s, who really need that money, right? And after he's dead, funeral expenses, bills, he's going to leave them maybe $1.17. That's not enough. It's not enough. So you're not the only one, Londale Carter. Not to get off track, I'm just wanting to tell people that you got generations of people who missed the boat, bro. They missed the boat. Big time. Big time. Shout out to T-Bone. Appreciate you, T-Bone. Yeah, the tape reading. That company, SMB Capital, they're so full of shit. When I, after school, I had saved up a couple $1,000s. I went to New York. Most of you guys already know that story. Because again, after I found out that, in Detroit, there's basically no jobs, I went to New York because I wanted to sell municipal bonds, right? I've always been trying to break into finance somehow. So I wanted to sell municipal bonds. I went all around Wall Street trying to break in, but I quickly realized if I did, because I didn't go to a top 10 university, that unless I wanted just to work into the mailroom and be a coffee bitch, that I wasn't going to be able to get access. And S&B Capital was there at the time. At the time, they had like this little show where they had this like black chick who was like trying to learn how to trade, and they eventually hired her at S&B Capital, and they used her for like a couple months and then ditched her. But they've always been like this really scammy type of trading, learn to trade company that supposedly has like a trading floor where you can go bring your money there, and then like you pay them like a portion of your wins, and So yeah, they posted that video today, or I think it was maybe today or yesterday, about this guy who I guess trades in their offices, who knows how to read ticker tape. He's a ticker tape trader. He just sits there and watches the green and red just coming down. Oh, wow, that's a buy. Oh, well, that's a sell. So full of shit. I said, that is the biggest crock of shit I've ever seen. What a load of bullshit. Makes no sense. And in the video, I discussed why, these automated bots, the trade flow pushing, your broker is selling your order to people on the other side. Reading ticker tape doesn't make sense. It was something that was done in the 1920s and 30s, early 40s, up until the early 1970s, because you didn't have supercomputers trading. It was individuals who were taking bets, among or between each other, and you were able to recognize inefficiencies. But in the modern days of supercomputer, it doesn't make sense to be a ticker tape reader. The average holding period is 20 seconds. You're not, whatever you're seeing on the bid side, right, is eventually going to be on the other side in less than 20 seconds later. It's stupid. It makes no sense. There's no quantifiable pattern in ticker tape reading. Absolutely. That's what indicators are for. You don't need to sit there and read those red and green fucking lights. Like you're mentally challenged. So Detroit is great for real estate investing. Well, of course, in the video they say, yeah, he's a very successful ticker tape trader. These guys are bullshit. And of course, you click the link and it goes to like some $499 fucking course. I'm so disgusted by these fucking people. What's going on, Gerardo? Say, hope this market will let us fill the boat. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely should. I mean, I'm definitely doing that on some of these inverse plays and some SPY puts. All right, some of these SPY puts, and I don't mind if we get a decent bounce. We got some intraday bounces, that happened a couple days ago and all that. So, we've had those intraday bounces where it kind of pisses you off, right? Because the market starts to try to come back up, and I'm like, you fucking pathetic bulls. Yeah, some of these intraday bounces where we sold off into the afternoon, or sold off. When was this? Yeah, that's the 29th. This was yesterday. We sold off, and then they tried to come back. I can't stand that shit, man. I can't fucking stand that shit. But again, I showed you on the daily, they're fighting for their life, man. They are fighting. Plunge Protection Team is on their job. Shout out to Plunge Protection Team, man. Buying those. Look, you got something to sell, Plunge Protection Team got the money to buy. They are at work doing all they can to keep it up. Shout out to Plunge Protection Team. But I have a feeling they're just not going to be able to make it happen this time. So we'll see. Yes, indeed. Spice this show up. What about USCO? What about USCO, man? What kind of scam you trying to get us into now? USCO, United Consortium. Do I want to look at the books on this? John Hill, I kick myself every day. Didn't buy Surrey at 7 cents in 2008. What's the ticker for that, John? What's the ticker for that? Absolutely. See how JCPenney is losing, back off the money. Opportunity to buy the bottom sucks, though. JCPenney has become a penny stock. Well, look, JCPenney is not going to be, it's not something you're going to want to touch here. It's just not something you're going to want to touch here. We've been watching JCPenney at what, since it was like 4.5. It's been a losing trade, and it's an OTC stock. Look, I think maybe this sucker goes to the Qs and it gets that Sears situation where you gotta get that these little pumps that happened to SHLD over the course of 2018. If you look at that chart, but as a stock to trade now, it's just not worth it. There's just so many other higher probability plays. Why bother with JCPenney? It's cheap. You can grab a lot of it, but it's just so much more attractive positions for you to be in. Surrey, 537. Sirius satellite radio. Someone says, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I remember, this. But if I remember, because I remember doing a little bit of research on what caused this. They were basically borderline, facing, what's the, I don't want to, what's the right word for it? But death as a company, right? But, they had locked themselves so much with General Motors and that situation that played into why Sirius satellite radio had gotten to that point. Because, if you remember at the beginning when XM and GM were like this. I mean, it was just like, hey, you got a GM, then you got XM in there. So they went down with the boat too. But yeah, man, that would have been an incredible trade. To be in. And shout out to the guys whoever, because somebody went in there. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not trying to shit on any of the OTCs, right? But look, we're trying to talk about some stocks that are going to get us some money right now. You know what I mean? On a more higher probability type level. You know what I mean? We're not trying to buy your shares here. We're trying to. That's why every time I push an OTC stock, I'm pushing. I want traders to win. And when I look at the stock, I want to be able to see, can people who I invite this to win? And I pulled up that ticker. I didn't see that. VTVT, 4%. 4% gain on VTVT. I think this is like I know it's a biotech company, but they've got this billionaire backer on VTVT. Because a long time ago, I looked at it as a possible short. And they've got like this billionaire that backs them and gives them a shitload of money on VTVT. Look at, do your research on that. They got like this high net worth backer. Have I ever used stock to trade? No, never used stock to trade. Look, I don't. Tim Sykes, shout out to him. Most of us are here because of Tim Sykes. But that guy's got enough money. I don't want to give him any of mine. So I will never use his products. I don't want him to give him any of mine. I know I still sell his products because people need a beginner tool, and I think for a beginner tool, yeah, he's a great beginner. Walk in, teach you how to trade, blah blah blah. With his product. But at this point of my knowledge, and for many of you, I don't want to give him my money. I don't want to give him my money. So I instead of stock to trade, use equity feed. Equity feed's better. Stock to trade is built off of equity feed. Just go to the original. And in fact, I think equity feed might be cheaper. I don't know where stock to trade is now, but he literally just took the equity feed code and built on top of it. Yeah. Billionaire pyramid bought 2 million shares at one day. There you go, HM. Yeah, I knew they got that billionaire backing somewhere. I'm always watching who I believe to be the smart money are doing, and I did see that trade. I did see that trade. He's got 2 million shares, but he's got a lot more though. He's got a lot more. He honestly just believes in what they're doing and the research they're doing. So he's got a lot more than that. Gerardo, what's the new video on the strategy I posted? Man, that's the new thing, man. I mean, looking at what Hayden was talking about, that 80-40 zone and that 20-60 zone, and you put it up there, and it's just right, bro. It's just right. When he talks about, bearish momentum being caught between 20 and 60, right? Being 20 and 60. For example, somebody had brought up J.C. Penney just a moment ago. And if we bring up J.C. Penney and we see how ugly this chart has been, we can map it out. And everything he says is spot on. All right. Everything he said is spot on. Of course, we're going to set it to red. We're going to get as close to 20 as possible. One more. We're going to hit it to 60. And just spot on. So we know that a convicted, bear move in a stock sticks between 20 and 60. And once we have confirmed that, then we know that if the stock is going to confirm resistance at 60, when the stock goes below 60 again, that's a high probability short. So now we look at 60 as a possible short situation for us. So for a long time, I thought it was 50, 50, 50, 50. No, you can actually get in at 60 using his strategy. Check out the video, bro. I think you really like it. And then also for the inverse, all right, when we talk about bullish scenarios, all right, let's bring up that guy who talked about Siri. That'll be a good chart to look at. And let's go back to that weekly chart. All right. Let me see here. Do we get weekly? Yeah, that's probably be fine. Maybe it's too much data in the system, but let's do it anyway. We know that bullish momentum begins at 40 as support and confirms at 80. All right, so here's Siri. So we get the confirmation of the bullish trend as it bounces above 40 and then doesn't go below 40 very much. All right, so here's the confirmation. Here's the confirmation. All right, so that we know that during a convicted bullish move, the proper entry would be the 40 RSI. Every time it dips and gets back above it, that would be a solid entry. That would be a solid entry. All right. And contrary to popular belief, not every time the stock dips above 80 is a time to sell, right? Because as you can see here, You tried to sell these. These could have been very, very bad moments for you, right? I mean, you would have been annihilated here, all right? Sometimes going above 80 is a confirmation that the trend is strong and people want to buy the stock and people are interested in the play. So watch that video, buy that book. I got it linked in the description of that book. Visit my website. I got all these old books that are hard to find on that website. thetraderslibrary.com. And it's not something that makes me $1 million, just a couple $100 a month, but it's just a way for me to put information out there, because guys, you can watch videos, and I try to do my best to put as much good information in those little study videos that I put out, but reading the book and listening to how the author is describing his strategy is just so many great nuggets. I think a lot of people sleep on reading about finance too much. Everybody wants a video course. God damn it. Let me put RSI back up here. All right, my bad, people. I don't know why when I did that, moved it too close. Where's my imports? Definitely don't want any background. Definitely don't want that. Change the middle band to 50. There we go. And let's thicken that up a little bit. There we go. Much better. With penny stocks, you get a huge following, then get people to buy the stock and pump the dump for penny stock success. No, I don't do that. I don't do that. I only bring people into a trade that and I don't want to say bring, I invite, because you as a trader decide to buy, but I invite people into OTC stocks that I think are going to move. And for the most part, across my track record, I've been pretty good on that. I don't try to bring people into pump and dumps. I get invited all the time in emails. Hey, we'll pay you $1,500. We'll pay you $2,000. That's just not what I want to do. Why? Because I want to be around 20 years from now doing what I'm doing now, which is talking about some of these great things that are happening across our world right now. And being that guy is a sure way to either end up in prison or distrusted. Shout out to Spencer Gordon, man. Appreciate that. I had to buckle down and read some books. Your favorite one is about the Bollinger Bands. Yeah. That book is called Bollinger on Bollinger Bands. Yeah, that's a pretty good book, but I don't, solid indicator, but I just never was able to get down with it. But a lot of guys use it and they say it's made them some money. Yeah, it's made them some money. ELTK. Yeah. Shout out to Soli. Soli was a big winner for a lot of people, but also a loser. I posted on Twitter how I had this conversation with a trader who lost $5,500 in Soli, and I left out in that comment on Twitter that he only had a $10,000 trading account. He only had a $10,000 trading account, so an account that took him 4.5 years to build. All right, 4.5 years to build. And he's a young guy. He's like 27. So I mean, he's got a long life ahead of him. But was gone just like that. And it just goes to show you how this game is good. But if you let greed, if you let dreams and fallacies just get into your head, man, you will lose everything. And it was just gone just like that, man. Everything that he built was gone just like that. It's gone just like that. He said go small when shorting. No, here's the thing. He didn't short the stock. He went long. He went long the stock. He just got in, the stock opened up and then halted and then he was up. Something to that I wasn't even watching, but he just basically told me he was up. And then all of a sudden, shit just went against him. This was yesterday. If we look at Sully, he said, hey, man, we were up. And if I remember, it halted sometime around here. And he said, Sal, it just happened so fast. It just happened so fast. And he went in big. He thought this was, this was going to go to 36, 35, man. And it just went against him quick, man. And he said, man, Sal, by lunchtime, I was down like $5,000. And by the time I sold, almost, 5 minutes later, it started going against me. It started coming back up. It started coming back up. And isn't that so much like trading? As soon as you sell, that's when the fucking shit starts going the right way. And it's like, fuck, man. That's what happens when you get in too big, man. I have a feeling, yeah, absolutely. He was clearly chasing. Oh, yeah, man. Oh, yeah. And we got to start talking a little bit about, I'm going to start making some videos on trading psychology and Dr. Brett Steinberger, he's got some really great articles on that. You guys should definitely check out his website. Let me put it. He's got some really great articles on trading psychology. Brett Steinberger. Traderfeed.blog post. Yeah, here's his web. I'm going to post it in the chat room. And I do sell it at traderslibrary.com. But if you go to his website here, and he does post regularly, traderfeed.blogspot.com. That's his little blog. And all his posts are about trading psychology, about how to control your breathing, how to mentally prepare for the trading day, how to, not be too overly excited when you win and not too overly depressed when you lose, right? How to properly use a trading journal and making sure you're not just putting down numbers, but how you feel physiologically in the moment. So it's a really, really good stuff. And a lot of people think it doesn't matter, but it really does matter how you mentally look at the game, because the game is so much mental than anything. So much mental than anything. The strategy and the mental come together and create, that opportunity for profit. Say you should have used Fibonacci's. Yeah, that FOMO kills a lot of people, man. That FOMO kills a lot of people. It kills people every day. FOMO kills people every day in the market, man. Every day. Every day. If you want to learn penny stocks, learn from Tim Sykes. Yeah. If you want to learn penny stocks, there's no better guy to go to personally. The guy's he's the OG of that space. So yeah, go to him. But don't be like these guys who, damn near 10 years later still on his nuts. Get information from a guy and then absorb it and then grow. You know what I'm saying? But you got guys who are been paying Tim Sykes $145 a month for 6, 7, 8, 9 years. It's ridiculous. Oh yeah. He's got people who's been paying him that monthly for 8, 9. Do the math on that. Do the math on that. That's a lot of money. Oh man, they be on his nuts, bro. I've already talked. They love his nuts. Oh man, they love Tim's nuts. Oh, they're just glob, just globbling all over it. And, every weekend, like, yeah, they go on Twitter. They post these pictures on Twitter, and they always tag Tim Sykes on it. They're like, "Hey, Tim, thank you so much for what you're teaching me. Look, I'm here studying with my dog, and I've got one of Tim's DVDs on my laptop right now. I'm studying," and get 20 likes and shit. Oh, God, I can't stand that shit, man. I know y'all see it too. Oh, absolutely. Very smart businessman. Jeff, very smart businessman. I give it to him. Yeah. Absolutely. Profitly makes him money. Stocks to trade. Then he does affiliate marketing with other guys and stuff like that. So he's a hustler, man. And I say that in a good way. With nothing but respect. BYND. Look, BYND is very interesting, but you got to understand, like, this is I don't want to say another Tesla, but this is very much like one of those companies where you've got other companies that could enter the space and destroy them. Look, Kraft, Campbell's, Kellogg's, they can enter this space and destroy Beyond Meat. Destroy them. Do you understand? Kellogg's could come into, what's the name of the biggest private poultry company in the world? What is Purdue? Is it Purdue? I think it's Purdue. I know I got some farmers in here. Purdue, which I believe is a private company, they can come into this space and destroy Beyond Meat. Tyson. Okay, it's Tyson. Okay, Tyson. They can destroy this company. They can destroy this company. I don't know if they're just chicken. Are they just chicken? I think they, all those companies kind of diversify. But Beyond Meat, look, Beyond Meat is the Tesla of fake food for the vegans. That's basically all that is. It's Tesla for the vegans. It's Tesla for the vegans. Beyond Meat now, I believe, is the number one stock on what's that Robinhood. I think it's Beyond Meat now. So it's just another fanboy stock. It's just another fanboy stock. All right, so just be aware of that. It's not too much there for me to kind of look at. Very liquid though, man. This thing is way too liquid for how small of a business it really is. I mean, they've got a $5.6 billion market cap. Trading, their PE is negative because they're losing money, but their PE is huge. You said they got liquid options. I wouldn't be surprised. It's a fanboy stock, man. And look, clear as day, this has got to be one that you just got to be very careful with, and just kind of let the hype down, dial down here. Just let the hype die down here. It hasn't been too long. They haven't gone through an earnings report yet, but their time is coming. Their time is coming. Yeah, they've been getting hit, but the problem is that it hasn't been hitting the stock, though. Once they get that ER, that's when it's really going to hurt. Right now, I mean, they just basically showed up on the scene. You can get the bad news, but at the end of the day, when that ER drops, that's when the news can really start to hurt. Yeah, you can't run from that. You can't run from those earnings reports. You can't run from that. That's why last time I left the show, I was talking about Lowe's. You see what happened to Lowe's recently, have you? Well, a lot of people were denying how bad the real estate market had gotten. And Lowe's proved not too long ago that, they felt that pain. Somebody was bringing up CZZZ. energy, oil, and gas. Tell me a little bit about it here, man. This doesn't look like it's a big time volume play. Shirley Lewis going in the right direction over the course of the last couple of weeks, though. What's got people excited about it, even though oil and gas prices are going down? Yeah, Gerardo, what stock were you talking about that's going for the bearish move? Do you think Uber and Lyft is going to make it to the stock market scene that they were losing half? Now, the only thing that's going to save those, and by the way, Shirley Lewis, I like where that chart is going. So not to cut off your thing here. I like where it's going as long as it maintains the momentum. Obviously, the volume isn't really there like that, but you're just going to have to, I know you kind of like those kind of more stable stocks that don't really kind of move intraday like that. When we talk about Uber and Lyft, let me tell you something. Those electronic cars can't come out soon enough. Because Uber and Lyft's problem is the fact that they've got to share the cost of the ride with the driver. That's their biggest problem. They've got to share the cost of the ride with their driver. The software itself is amazing, right? I mean, you can find a ride, the ride comes and gets to you. All right, but to have to share that cost with the driver, it's a big problem for them. They need driverless cars. All right. So Uber and Lyft are right now in a situation where they've got to share that cost with somebody who is, let's be honest, desperate to make money. Listen, if life is good for you, you don't drive Uber. If life is good for you, you don't drive Lyft. All right. You drive those situations. You're in that situation because you need some money. You just came to this country. You need whatever it is. That's why 9 times out of 10, you get into an Uber. It's an immigrant. It's a Black American. It's somebody who, is in a situation where they just need some money. And that causes you to have exposure to people who want to unionize. You call, exposure to people who want more. There's a lot of problems. You got people who are putting wear and tear on their vehicles, driving miles and miles for very little money. Right? Very little money. You got some there. They got both stickers on the windshield. They're a Lyft driver sometimes, and they're an Uber driver sometimes, and they're, so you depend on people who aren't stable to generate to drive your business. That's not how you build a business for the long run. They need driverless cars, man. They need driverless cars. And they need them fast. Oh, no, I'm not making fun of them. I'm not faking fun of them. I'm not making fun of them at all, man. Because, again, like I said, people who drive Uber are in a lot of times in desperate situations. They're not going to tell you about it, but shit, man. They need that 600, that 1,000. They need that, man. Absolutely. So in exchange for wear and tear on their vehicles, they've got a higher probability of being able to make an extra 1,000 a week than, getting a part-time job bagging groceries. So there's a win in for them as well. Uber makes it easy to get to have that part-time job, but so many guys try to make it full-time. No, not 1,000 a day, 1,000 a week, bro. 1,000 a week. Most guys try to aim for 1,000 a week when they drive Uber. The only reason I like Uber, unfortunately, is a lot of people don't have cars and have mental problems. Absolutely, Oh man, there are a whole bunch of videos on YouTube. Uber drivers getting beat up. There was one on World Star not too long ago. You work in some of these tough neighborhoods, man. Where people sell crack and speed and all kind of shit. You picking up people all kind of times of the night. You're putting yourself at risk to make $20, $30. Hey, but you got shout out to those Uber drivers who are willing to go into those neighborhoods and pick up people. Poker Pro, you said you make about $1,000 or $2,000 on driving for Uber. Yeah, shout out to you guys, man. Shout out to you guys. Nothing wrong with that. There's something in it for the drivers as well. Get an Uber to pick up drugs down the street. Absolutely, man. Well, wasn't there an Uber driver who was going around killing people not too long ago, maybe a year or two ago? You can Google that. Or a killer Uber driver or something like that. So they've had their fair share of issues. You had this thing in situation in South Carolina where this guy was pretending to be an Uber driver and raped this woman and killed her and dumped her like a piece of trash. So yeah, they've had their share of issues as well. All right. He said the app made him do it. Damn. It's fucked up, man. Said Uber takes 50% or more from the most. And that's the problem. They want to take 100%. They need 100% of that, Poker Pro. Uber and Lyft need 100%. They need every dollar they can get. That's why they can't work hard enough to get driverless cars. They want to get rid of y'all so bad. Can you imagine a company like Uber when they got driverless cars? That's a cash cow. That's a cash cow. Because now you're Uber, you go straight to GM, you say, hey, GM, I want to finance 10,000 vehicles. We're going to pay you this so much a month. All right? We'll work something out with your local dealerships. We get them a cut anytime we need repairs. Now I don't have to pay you a driver. I don't have to worry about you raping somebody. I don't have to worry about you embarrassing me or doing anything like that. That's a cash cow. Bands on bands on bands. That's going to be ultra kill right there, man. Ultra kill. Yeah. That's like Amazon for cars, bro. You just buy a stock and just go. It's just going, the price is going to come down. It's just, Oh, yeah. He said GM and Uber can merge. Well, I don't know about if GM wants to get into the transportation business that closely. But GM and Uber will, in a driverless car world, will have a much closer relationship than they do now. I know now in a situation where if you're one of those good drivers, you can negotiate through, I think, Uber, while they'll give you a car, right? Then you can negotiate like a deal or some shit like that. Oh, there we go. Yeah, somebody just put it in the chat room. There we go. GM owns a car leasing company called Maven. Yeah, there you go. June 1st, all leases are up. Okay. To drivers of Uber and Lyft. And as of June 1st, all leases are up. They said there's a conflict of interest. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. So there are deals on there. 310, I don't know if you're still watching. You can definitely call in. God damn, I know I got you toasting for a long period of time there. But Lyft and Uber, I mean, they're just not doing well. Here's Lyft. Got a little bit of RSI divergence going on here, but just still not enough data for the RSI to really build through. Yeah, I don't know who 310 was, but shout out to 310 who called in earlier in the day into the show. Said they got a Prius deal. Okay. I thought they're getting rid of their cars, though. I think GM is getting rid of, or maybe I think that was Ford getting rid of their sedans. All right. So going back to my topic, man, there's not much exposure to Mexico, to speak of. Best ETF I could find was EWW, which is actually surprisingly very liquid on the stock side. So we expect this to be a loser tomorrow. Right now, already, a dollar lower, but that spread's pretty wide since the close. But the futures market right now doesn't look too hot. The market is real fucked up when people just start looking for tweets to save them, man. They just start looking for tweets to be like, oh my God, has he tweeted yet? TVIX, SOXS, TECS. Kramer's on it hard, man. Kramer's about to lose his mind in a couple months. Watch out for Kramer. Kramer's going to have a meltdown here soon in a couple months. Yeah, my charitable trust. Oh, man. SOXS. Yeah, this is going to be a really good sign. I mean, all of these are going to move real high. Again, watch out for the reverse split coming in a couple of weeks, but these are stocks that they're gonna go through the roof, man, in a couple months, bro. Patron, what's the ticker for that, Poker Pro? You got some Mexican companies out there, but again, the U.S. just has so much exposure, down there. You got a lot of exposure down there in terms of tooling, right? Tool companies. So you can look at your publicly traded tool companies. I know they're not much out there because the Chinese now own so much of that space. But we've got a lot of things that are made in products that are made in Mexico. In fact, that's actually a good thing. 10 popular products we didn't know are made in Mexico. Toothpaste, Learjets. I didn't know that Learjets was made. Gulfstream Learjet was made in Mexicali. I didn't know that. Flat screen TVs. Oh, I didn't think of that. Flat screen TVs. Hell yeah. A lot of cars and trucks. That's why I'm saying GM is going to be a big loser. Tires, yeah. Printer ink. Yeah. Absolutely. BBBD. You been making money on SPY and 5-minute candle? BBBD. Banco. Okay, so this is one of the banks in Brazil, in Mexico, right? God damn, boy, this thing has been moving in these last couple of days. Look at that. Look at these last 10 days, man, from $1.23 on the stock. It's been hot, man. Wouldn't want to short that. Mexico grows our food. Why is Trump Mexico? Well, because of the illegal immigrants. It's all about the illegal immigrants, and look, it's part of his. His base really cares about that kind of thing, and personally, I think it's a losing battle, but I don't think he actually wants to win that battle. I think again, he just wants 0% interest rate. He wants to bring the market down so he can go to Jerome Powell and say, look, Jerome, the market is going down. We need you to step in and do something. And then that's when the 0% interest rates come back. And that will then trigger all hell because it's not going to work this time. Shout out to Gerardo, man. 20 to 50% a day. Shit. American Eagle Mines. Yeah, you're starting to see a little bit movement back in the gold, but man, at the same time, man, gold is so, the World Bank's just control gold so much. Gold should be so much more expensive than it is now. It's just so fucking rigged and so oppressed as a commodity. I've just kind of lost all. Maybe we get a flash bounce in gold, right? But, BCCLF. Oh, just jewelry and wines. Okay, yeah, no volume, but price target of with a 2-to-1 ratio. Oh, I believe it. And that's a good entry, Shirley Lewis. Let me see your DWT trade, though. Yeah, because I like that inverse, too. Inverse crude. I'm surprised you like the DWT, because a lot of people go for is it Gush? I forgot what the other one is. That's a good one right here too, though. DWT. But I want to say is it Gush or something like that? What's that inverse of Gush? What's the inverse of Gush? I know it's something. Yeah, DWT is oil. Drip. There it goes. Yeah. Yeah, it's drip and DWT. Basically the same thing. Although DWT's half, but they're both extremely liquid. Very, very good stocks to play in that. A lot of people sleep on these. I've been getting a lot more in love over the last couple weeks with inverse ETFs. I've been talking about them since last year, but just really started falling in love with them just because, not having to deal with time value is always a good thing. Obviously, you miss out on that leverage that you get with options. But sometimes in a market that's not just going straight down, it can be quite annoying when you're in a put position and the stock's is not, it's kind of going sideways. When you're in a straight put, you need the stock to keep going down, right? Because you're fighting time. Otherwise, you've got to get into a more high risk, low reward put selling position where it requires you to put up margin to execute the trade. And now you're sitting around, and that could be annoying as well. Appreciate you, Desert Edge. Yeah. So if you're getting something like this, you can sit in it for a day or two and not really have it hurt you too badly, as much as an option would hurt you if you let that go sideways for 4 days, 5 days. USO has some $12 push. Shout out to USO coming back alive again, man. Shout out to USO coming back alive again. I know those are cheap. Those are dirt cheap. Dirt cheap options when you talk about USO. Shout out to, thank you for bringing Visa. I put Visa in my video that you just talked about, Gerardo, not too long ago about the strategy. When you look at Visa, very much you see some bearish divergence showing up here in the chart for Visa. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. So here, let's pull up the RSI here. So we're going to have 20. One more. Let's get close to 60. So we have Visa, as you see here. All right. Very much as we see here, the volatility came in. We got below it, below that 60 moving average here. And see where that break is? As I part that's your high probability short right here. Now you can get faked out, right? I mean, guys get faked out all the time. So it's not a 100% system. There's no such thing. But as you can see here, once you went short with the confirmation, you did very, very well. You did very, very well. Resistance, here's another shorting opportunity. Resistance at the 60, right? Because remember, bearish energy is 20 to 60. So the rejection at the 60 is another opportunity for you to short. Breaking above the 60, that's a buying opportunity because we know that elevates, that means you're going into to bullish territory. As you see, here's the conviction on the buying here, using that high level now as support. Here's the drop, right? Here's the beginning of the volatility coming into the play, and now below the 60 RSI. Here's a potential for you to trade, to buy this short. So yeah, puts in Visa would make sense here, and then you would just try to see, hopefully it breaks down even lower. Hopefully it breaks down even lower. Oh no, not too late. Not too late, Gerardo, at all. Not too late. This could be this could be the beginning. This could be the beginning. This could be the beginning of something real ugly here in Visa. All right. And obviously, if you don't want to play that directly, you can always look at, an XLF. I think XLF has Visa in it. I might not be sure. You might want to check that, but Visa is a place to be. Here's even MasterCard showing a little bit of weakness here. MasterCard trying to stay stay above 60. Look at that. All right, so you got a little bit of weakness coming into MasterCard here too. So look out for that. As you can see here, above 60, a lot of energy up there. Very convicted move. All right, very convicted move coming out of 2009. Coming into 2009, excuse me. I'm saying the rest of the market started and Visa is showing up to that party. Yeah. Would you buy months out on puts on Visa or weekly? No, right now, I'll probably just weekly at a time right now, because again, I don't know how the market is going to respond. You can't read the future to 0% interest and that announcement, and also the actual reaction to the market. Because he's going to get that. Donald Trump is a very shrewd man, and I think that's exactly what he's doing. He's causing this short-term pain because he honestly believes going into his reelection year, if he can get even just enough stimulation into the market that could carry him, into November of 2020, that's all he needs. But he's not going to get that. He's not going to get that. I just think he's not going to get that. There's just too much time between now and then. It's too much time. And it's just not going to work. Just the way his tax cut didn't work, right? His tax cut, let's just be honest, for the everyday American, it just didn't work. And I just think for this, sir, it's not, that 0% is not going to work. It's not going to work. But no, so Legendary 8s, I would just continue to stay weekly for now. I had a guy who hit me up. He said he's got TVIX calls for months out. I think, I forgot his name, but he's got TVIX calls. He says he's got TVIX calls for like above 30. And I've been, as you can see here, I've been looking at TVIX too now. It says a possible opportunity because, this could be very interesting. TVIX months out, but it's still a bit early. Man. But yeah, you're starting to see guys move into those kind of areas. I think we're still a bit early though. You said Visa hits 150 in 3 weeks. Woo! I mean, why not? Why not? It could happen. It could very well happen. I mean, it could very well happen. Why not? It could very well happen. I mean, these are stocks that have made a lot of money over the last 10 years because of the cheap money out there. And these are going to be the stocks that are going to pay so dearly when people just decide to stop paying. You know how many small businesses that owe companies like Visa millions of dollars? And I'm not talking small businesses of 5,000 employees, although they've got credit card lines too. But I'm talking about just the local print shop, the local dog groomer with a little, in the little sub mall and shit like that, who's got like a $50,000 credit line, right? That they're basically maxed out on. Normal everyday credit card holders. Most of Americans are maxed out. People start losing their jobs. These credit card companies start getting tighter. Yeah, shit's gonna get rough out here, man. Shit's gonna get rough out here. Look, if we were, people say, oh, Sal, you're too bearish. It's not about being too bearish. I just want to find what direction can I go in to make the money. And right now, when you look at the market from where we are, it's not up, it's down. That's where all the money could be made right now. That's where all the money could be made right now. Look at what we've done since December. Coming out of the lows. But once we got back to market highs, we didn't do shit. So we had to go down to come up. And I believe we got to go down to come up again. He said, where am I going to be when we get a recession? I'll still be here. God willing, I'm still going to be right here, bro. Shout out to Black Box Stocks. You guys know we're going public. Black Box Stocks is going to NASDAQ. They're uplisting the NASDAQ soon. So shout out to Black Box Stocks. I was smart enough to get a little piece. Not a lot, but enough, a little bit. Shout out to Black Box Stocks. We're going to be uplisting here soon to the NASDAQ. I don't know how that's going to turn out. It's crazy, bro, that I wish I had more time with Black Box, but it's all good. It'll be going public soon to the NASDAQ. But I'm going to be right here, bro. I think the market looks for a small bounce next week. Yes, Gerardo, I'm in agreement with you. I think we get a nice bounce here soon. We're at the 200 moving average. That's where guys look for that. They're fighting hard, and I think they're going to get a nice little bounce here soon. But the Mexico news doesn't help, though. The Mexico news doesn't help. So tomorrow we open lower, and we're going to be interesting to see what happens, because either the floodgates open up and we just start going straight down, or we open lower and guys start buying the dip. Because if you look at the futures, it's going to be a very ugly morning, right? It's going to be a very, very ugly morning tomorrow. So we've got to see, and I'm excited because I'm short. So I'm like, fuck it. I know. That's strong, Desert Edge. I mean, to open up that low and then close above the 200, that says a lot. I mean, that means guys are really convicted and almost believe that Trump would be bluffing. Yeah, that's why I was just talking about plunge protection team, man. Plunge protection team is the real deal. He said we see 259 at some point. I don't doubt it. I'm in agreement with many of you. We gotta keep going down here. There's still too much risk out there, man. Still too much risk out there. Just to plot it for you guys to see this. There's still too much risk out there. Go see that method I put out there right now. I mean, obviously my 25-10 would have kept you into the thing, for guys who are still using that 25-10. That 25 moving average strategy I put out there, again, they didn't create it because moving average strategies have always been there, but 25 moving average, you're already short and you're enjoying the benefits of that. But as you can see here below the 60, that 60 crack, that was your shorting opportunity right there. You're just enjoying it. I can put that moving average on there, and we'll see 25. As you see, 25. Almost, yeah, basically showing you practically almost the same thing. All right, showing you that crack. Obviously, though, but the strategy gets you in a little bit early because it's about the 60 and not the 50. The 25 moving average connects to that 50 RSI line, so you actually get in a little bit earlier, and it's good to know it's a slightly higher probability trade. All right, because you're seeing the market a little bit differently. So we'll see what happens, man. We will see what happens. Plunge protection team, yeah. I've been talking about them for a long time. It's the real deal, man. They're buying the lows. Look, they just announced that they're going to stop selling the books, right? Didn't the Fed announce that they were going to stop clearing their books? Because the Federal Reserve owns so much stock. Let me see here. There he goes. They did this back in, this was back in March. Let me show you guys this. They still, till today, dude, they still own shares of publicly traded companies. The Federal Reserve does. And the government shouldn't be in the business of owning publicly traded companies. Shouldn't be in the business of doing it at all. Check this out. This is the real deal. Fed announces plan to end balance sheet runoff in September. So that came out March 20th of 2019. So they're planning to end their program of selling publicly traded stocks that they had bought as far back as 2009. They're going to stop selling them out into the market in September. So you got to understand that this is a plan that's coming together. So we're going to stop selling shares that we own, right? And now we're also going to now implement 0% interest rate. That's the steroids they're trying to put in there. That's the steroids right there. That's the steroids right there. So that's why when somebody asks me, hey, do we want to buy months out? No, we don't want to buy months out. Just take it a week at a time because this is the plan that's coming together. This is the plan that's coming together, man. These people, watch their moves, man. They put their moves out there. They put their moves out there just to test what people think, and, they know exactly what they're doing, man. But, you got China about to hit us back with the rare earth stuff. Have you guys heard about that? You got China hitting back with rare earths. It's like basically little metals that are popular in electronic products. Said the Fed know what they're doing. Yeah, I mean, the Federal Reserve is owned by some of the most biggest banks in the world, basically. Absolutely, the Federal Reserve is a private company. These people are smart. They know what they're doing, man. They know what they're playing, how to play the game. But at the same time, they can't deny that the game is ran. It's getting to a point where it's ran its course, and now they're shaky about it too, because the numbers are so much bigger than they were in 2009. The numbers are way. I mean, when you talk about corporate debt, personal, debt that Americans own, we're talking 10, 20 times 2009 levels. A bailout now is almost, they were talking 24 trillion in 2009. A bailout now, you're talking 120 trillion dollars. If what happened in 2009 happened today, oh man, look that up. Look that up, brothers. Fed need the Bitcoin. Oh man, look, they're not gonna. The problem with Bitcoin is that a lot of people who would allow Bitcoin to be the legitimate currency that it could be, they didn't buy it early enough. So they will never allow it to be accepted the way it should be because they didn't buy it early enough to be able to tell you what the fuck to do with your Bitcoin. That's their problem. See what I mean? That's their problem. That's why they're not letting Bitcoin really be able to do its thing. Because like, fuck, I'm worth $100 billion or, I'm worth $115 billion, my bank. But damn it, we didn't get into Bitcoin in 2010. We don't want to buy it at 3,000. We definitely don't want to buy it at 8,300. They want to get Bitcoin to a point where you are like, man, fuck Bitcoin. And then that is when they say, you know what, shit. Ladies and gentlemen, the US dollar, unfortunately, it can't be saved. But we got this thing over here called Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? Man. Yeah, they didn't want to pay for. They didn't want to pay $3,000 for it, man. I mean, shit got so bad. J.P. Morgan, they created their own coin. Look that up. You guys remember that? J.P. Morgan Chase, they created their own little coin. So they won in on the game somehow. They're looking for a way. They're looking for a way. They just haven't decided yet. They're looking for a way. Fiat currency always runs its course, man. It always runs its course. So they're looking for a way. I don't want to hear anything about gold and all. Gold is the most controlled goddamn thing. I've just never watched a commodity so damn controlled in my life than gold. Shit. But Bitcoin, yeah, it's just doing its thing. It's doing its thing. Bank of America has a coin too. Yeah, they're trying. They're trying. But at the end of the day, they know Bitcoin is the king, though. They know Bitcoin is the king. So, they can come up with their own shit coins all they want, but they know Bitcoin's the king. 10 years from now, 20 years from now, if somebody's going to want a coin, it's going to be Bitcoin. It's $1 trillion. They need Bitcoin to crash. Oh, yeah, man. Oh, yeah. So, good to see you guys. I want to, again, continue to keep your eyes on all of these inverse plays. I'm glad I was able to talk about the situation in Mexico and what's happening here, because I think this is a new dimension. And it's so crazy to see him open up a new battlefront now, Mexico. I just don't think that this is going to work out for him the way he thinks. I don't think the Mexicans care. I don't think 5% is enough. You got to remember, his original was 20%. If you remember, his original was 20% months and months ago. They're like, yeah, we're going to put 20% tariffs on Mexico. So this 5% is weak. The market is responding very strongly, but he said months ago 20% tariffs on Mexico. Let me see if I can find that article. Yeah, this was. Yeah, remember when he was creating the wall? When he had that guy Spicer, This is January. Yeah, let me put that out there so you guys can see this. News for Oh man, he ain't talking about that wall shit no more. Because the wall it's not gonna look like what he put out initially. Let me see here. News 4. There it is. 20% Mexico tariff would pay for the wall. So initially it was 20%. This was back in January of 2017. Oh, January of 2017. All right. So now all of a sudden it's 5%. So he's giving himself some leg room. He knows what he's doing. He's just trying to hurt the market, man. He's just trying to hurt the market. Yeah, he's just trying to hurt the market. What's going on, T. Kelly? All right. Yeah, I'm just about to wrap up the show, but I just wanted to get my feet wet, man. I wanted to get my feet wet. And I just felt like this was a great time to come back in here. To come back in here and start doing this again. I wish I had a lot more tickers for you. I'm definitely going to get a lot more tickers, but I know everybody's kind of doing their own thing, but also just to kind of catch where my head is at. I know it's always good to see somebody else's watch list to see what they're thinking about particular plays. I saw somebody in the chat room say we don't trade OTCs anymore. Good for you. That's good for you. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, obviously you do have some runners here and there. Somebody had brought up Pred earlier. Pred is still good, man. Pred is still good. Shout out to the Iceman. Shout out to Ken. I know they're pretty upset with me because they hit me up like 2 weeks ago. And they're like, yeah, Sal, we'll give you $4,000 if you make a Pred video. And I was like, nah, I'm all right. Like, I'm good, man. I didn't even call them back about it because I'm like, this isn't like 3 years ago where it's like, God damn, y'all got some money for me? Like, shit is different now. Like, I know how to trade now. So it's like, you know, that ain't no real money to me like that, you know? You said $4,000 take. It's different now, man. It's not, you know, people think that's not a lot of money because you got to understand for the $4,000 that you'll get, I'm going to generate for them like $120,000 in buying power in the stock. That ain't shit. That ain't shit. You know, so it's easy. 4,000, yeah, we'll give the nigger 4,000. You know, so that's not no money, bro. You know, you're going to generate $150,000-$250,000. Till today, my old Pred videos that I got paid for, when people look up Pred, they watch that video. So going back now and looking back at the $2,700 I took back in 2017 for that video, I got shortchanged, man. That video has probably generated maybe $1 million worth of buying power for Pred. So when these people hit you up, you know, and they want to offer you it's shit. It's shit money. It's shit money. Patrick Lindsay said, "Is it hard to promote?" I wouldn't say it's hard to promote. You just have to be somebody that people are willing to listen to and trust and believe that you have their best interest at heart. And if you have that and have some integrity, then you can quote unquote promote. But if you're in it for yourself, people can recognize game 100%. People are, you know, these people aren't stupid. Whether it be a guy who's got 15,000 to invest or a guy who's got $50, you know, people who can read. He's just a fucking shyster. Or they say like, I think what he's saying is legit, and I'm gonna see what happens. Yeah, Candace, the option change sucks right now. That's why I'm gonna watch that ticker, and that's why I bought it up. because we'll see if liquidity comes into the option side of it, but it could be short term because this is very much just a long, and obviously you could probably short it, but look at $44. It's quite a bit of money, and there's no inverse. I can't find a decent inverse ETF with decent exposure to Latin America, where Mexico is a significant part of it. So, maybe if this becomes a problem, one could pop up, but then liquidity could be an issue in that new instrument. I'm just surprised there isn't one out there right now. But no, don't even, now that I continue to talk about it, don't even worry about it. We've got so many companies that have exposure to Mexico. The gadget companies, the car companies, GM. They could buy puts in GM. Why even bother to buy puts in this? You can buy puts in GM, and GM has been basically firing American workers and moving products to Mexico, and been doing that for the last 25 years, right? For the last 25 years. So they're going to get hurt tomorrow, but again, like I said, it's just 5%. 20% was the original thing. So there's a lot more for them to work with. It could be a lot more pain in the future. Oil companies, there are some oil companies that are exposed as well. But I'm more or less looking at, retail. Retail is going to continue to suffer. Retail's been hit so hard lately. Have y'all been looking at XRT? Retail, XRT been hit hard. That's another very, very liquid options as well, XRT. This is a good one, too, that you can make some money on. XRT is another one you can make some really good money on as this goes lower. I think real estate is also... what's real estate again? I forgot. Off the top of my head, I forgot what the big real estate ETF is. I should have that memorized, but I can't remember off the top of my head. GT? What is that? Yeah, Goodyear Tire. Yeah, Goodyear Tire has a factory in Mexico. Goodyear, yeah. As you can see, there's already too much that's off the bone there, so it's not much to get. If anything, they're going to gap lower, and they're probably actually going to be a buying opportunity there for Goodyear. Look, this thing's trading at 6 times. If they've lost so much, they're trading at 6 times earnings. This is actually a very interesting buy here. Thank you actually for bringing up this chart, because you got 14 RSI now. If you gap down tomorrow to 10, or maybe 10 might be too drastic, but you gap down tomorrow like 12 and a half, I'd probably buy some calls on that. You open up at the 9 RSI. If you open up at 1250, 9 RSI, I'm buying calls there all day. That's just common sense. Coca-Cola could have some issues there as well. Yeah, I'll definitely, for Coca-Cola, you go on the put side. Desert Edge, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you get the nice oversold 2-day bounce. Because tomorrow morning, it's all going to be about justifying the tariffs. So you're going to have the Trump administration come out, and they're going to talk about the border. They're going to talk about the illegal immigrants and how they're causing so much crime. So, this is going to be more than likely a sell into Friday, especially if you're talking about a stock that's already been up. So you're going to sell into Friday, but a stock like Goodyear Tire, you're going to want to carry that into Monday for a nice little bounce as things cool. Well, you hope cool over the weekend. Yeah. We'll see how it plays out, man. All we can do is look at the chart and propose what could happen, and hope that our technical skills favor us. All right. Yeah, everything are so far so good. So man, I really hope you guys are making money out there. Shout out to the guys who are, and for those of you guys who aren't, again, man, these moving averages, they're very simple trading styles out there that you can use that are not very complicated. And there are a lot of people who are trying to deceive you. They're trying to manipulate you to make you feel that this game is complicated, and it's not complicated. A lot of it is just simplicity and it's self-control. Simplicity and self-control. Contrary to popular belief, the people who are very successful at this, beyond the fact that they've got years of experience, and I'm not talking about, the YouTube traders. I'm talking about people in real life that are actually like very, very immensely successful. You'd be surprised how simple their systems are. When you read about them in some of these books and that I've been doing, and yeah, we just use a 50 moving average, or we just use it, like Ray Dalio and all. It's so simple, like very, very simplistic mythologies. But everybody else out here is trying to get you to sign up for some $4.99 program and master teacher this, master teach you that. You said, am I making the deep? Nah, man, I don't know why I go back and forth on that so much. And I've got so many hours towards that already, bro. Like I could wrap it up and be done if I wanted to. But I go so back and forth on that. So much. Because I don't want anybody to shit on me if I, like, oh my God, you sell a course. And plus it didn't help that I got close to that Guru Leaks guy. Guru Leaks, he's funny. And he's all about exposing people who sell courses. Oh, man. So it's pretty funny. Was that a ticker, Charlotte? Oh, you were talking about beer. Okay, you were talking about beer companies. Yeah, beer companies do have exposure to Mexico a lot. So it's going to be a very interesting Friday. Friday, I don't know what it is about Friday that attracts so much news. Maybe this White House does that a lot on purpose to kind of go into the weekend with something to talk about. They really, really do enjoy doing that. They really, really, really do enjoy doing that. So it's going to be a very interesting weekend to see. All right. So it's your boy Sal, man. I really hope you enjoyed this show. Please press like, subscribe. Please press like, subscribe. It's not going to be as long of a wait because I got some really interesting positions that I want to continue to talk about here. So definitely not going to be 2 months till you see me again. But life's been going real good, and I'm happy again, right? I'm happy again now that the trading is going my way, because I fucking hate it when the market starts going up, man. I'm talking like when we got above 20, we were like dangling at like 28.50, and we were like, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck is happening? Like, I mean, we just had a negative GDP. Like, what the fuck is going on here? What is this? So the smile is back on my fucking face again. Yes. Put a goddamn smile back on my damn face. As we are back below 2,800. Back below it. We're gonna try to fight to get back there, though. Like I said, they're gonna fight to get back up there. They're gonna fight to get back up there. But it's good to see some green back into my account, because I don't like going long, particularly, in stocks like the SPY and all that shit, because you can't sleep at night. When you're long in the SPY and you're on the tail end of a 10-year bull run, you can't sleep at night, man. When you're long 15K, 12K, 30, whatever it is, it's hard to sleep at night, man. It's hard to sleep. But when you're short and you know the market is a piece of shit, oh, I sleep like a baby. Like I just got done having sex for 45 minutes. You know when you're done and you get a big nut and then you go to that kind of sleep when you're short a shitty stock or a shitty market. Oh, you get that kind of sleep where you wake up and it's just like, you get that kind of sleep. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Yes, indeed. Oh yeah. Oh, come on, man. I'm talking that Superman. Every man's gets that one time when you get that Superman sex. You're like, yeah, bitch, you want round 3? Yeah. Woo. Oh man, it happens. It happens. You said that blue pill. Y'all hilarious. Shit. Let me just find one more ticker to close up the show. There gotta be another. Oh, look. Yeah, Kroger is another one too, man. What's the name of that that store Amazon said they were going to let you bring their returns to and shit? That was like the dumbest pop ever when that happened. What was the name of that store? Everybody said Amazon did an agreement with them where they're going to let them bring their returns. The 6 where you have to take a shower before round 3, hilarious. I don't think it was Whole Foods. Kohl's, there we go. Thank you. It was Kohl's. They might have already. God damn, shit. Okay, yeah. Here's another one, earnings loser. I hadn't been watching Kohl's. Shit. Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna get that bounce here soon too. That's gonna get that bounce real soon. Yeah. See, again, the statistical probabilities of continuing to go lower. It becomes almost impossible for Kohl's to kind of continue to go lower from here. So, you open up tomorrow. I don't know how much exposure to Mexico that the market's going to credit to them. But yeah, that's an interesting buy here. Oh my God, that's a beautiful, buying opportunity here. And when I say buying opportunity, I don't mean hold on to it for like a week. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about like, this is going to be like an intraday, maybe next day or Monday, Tuesday. You'll be able to get, maybe 75 cents or $1 move into this back up higher. But very much a stock that's really, really been beat up here. Very beat up. Has it even been at those RSI levels? Oh my God. Yeah, is he there? There's 2015-ish. You got a similar move. And that's what I'm thinking. You don't get too much time to enjoy that. Oh, did I move it? Hold on. Where was that move at? There it is right there. You don't get too much time to enjoy it. You went from 49, what was the high, to 52. Good, okay. That's a nice move there. So from the bottom of that RSI, you went from 49 to 52 on the bottom. So, I'm messing up the chart all the way now. But so there's at least we got a potential guide to what could happen. And Kohl's 49 to 52. Now we're at 50, so we're talking 50 to 50 to 53, maybe a 53. That won't be too bad. So that's like, what is that? Let's go back to 50. Let's just go like 52.92. Yeah, that's not bad. That's very possible. Let's move in 15 minutes. Yeah, that could be very possible here. RSI's got to show a little bit more conviction. We haven't yet seen buyers, but we'll see what happens tomorrow on that. But that would be interesting. Amazon's going to buy a railroad. Take care, Desert Edge. All right, let me get out of here, man, because I always do that. Y'all going to have me talking. Every time I start the show, I'm always going to say, it's going to be 1 hour. It's going to be a 1 hour show. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I really hope you really enjoyed it. Shout out to all the people in the chat room right now. Legendary Eights, Bespoke. Yes, thank you, Bespoke. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. Thank you for that. That's a really good video, man. I really hope people take the time to really apply that RSI strategy, because it's very timely, and I think guys can make some money. Legendaries, you said I hope I make a comeback, make some back for once. Yeah, bro. It's always the second time. That's the thing about trading, man. Is guys always want to go for the kill, but man, if you got $1,000 in your account, why not go for $100 trades? Especially if you want to be in this game for the rest of your life. Fuck the fact that why try to get rich in a year when you can get rich in 5? It's okay. Who you rushing for? As long as you still get there, right? Legendary H, you said you lost a lot. Well, I bet you lost a lot because you bet a lot, right? If you go back to some of your trades, or you think back rather, those could have been a lot smaller positions. I can speak for myself in that matter, because those losses that I took at the beginning of my trading, they could have been a lot smaller. I had no excuse for some of the trades that I made to be that big, especially to be somebody who doesn't know the craft that well. I had no business trading with that kind of size, losing thousands of dollars, taking $1,000 plus positions. I had you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Why am I taking a $2,500 position? I don't come from a trading background. My father's not a trader. I don't have any connections to trading why am I taking that big of a position? I am a beginner. And that's the kind of mindset that I should have had at the time. I am a beginner. I am learning. I'm going to put my $200 into this, and I'm going to see what's going to happen. And until I figure it out and I earn the right to trade bigger, if I lose, I'm going to lose this $200. And not $2,500, and not $3,000, and not $3,500, right? Because I understand losing a little bit keeps me in the game longer. It's your boy Sal, man. I appreciate all of you. Shout out to Charlotte Mack, Bespoke, Candace Thomas, Money Green, Osu Haas, Jeremy B. Dave, shout out to Dave, man. Appreciate you, bro. All you guys, Money Green, all you guys who've been watching me for years, man. I feel so close to you guys, even though I've never seen y'all in person. I just appreciate the fact that y'all give me y'all time like y'all do. It really warms my heart, man. It really do. You guys have no idea. All right, keep trading, keep learning. I'm gonna keep putting out these little quick hit videos that I've been learning, and I've been doing a lot of reading. Particularly after I created that little website, the Traders Library. All these new books that I get the opportunity to read. I just want to put it out there and share with you guys. So I really appreciate you guys who've taken the time to watch those videos and taking advantage of those methods as well. Appreciate you, Londell. You should do a camp or speaking seminar. I did a speaking seminar when I lived in Durham, North Carolina. And it left a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth because, at the time I was like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like, okay, I got this show on YouTube, and I passed out a bunch of flyers, and I also passed out copies of Think and Grow Rich, and I passed it out to like 250 people, right? And only, I think, man, it was like 17 people showed up, and it fucking hurt my feelings, man. Fucking hurt my feelings, because I rented this room out, and this hall, it actually was a hall, and I'm thinking that I'm going to have a packed house, and I'm going to record it, and I couldn't even record it because the way the people who were sitting in the room, they were so spread out, so I couldn't record the crowd because it looked like nobody showed up, and it just fucking hurt my feelings. Now, I had a bomb-ass presentation for the people who showed up, and they left really, I think, really educated and really excited about understanding the markets. But the people who shook my hand and like, yeah, brother, I'm gonna be there, brother. Yeah, they didn't show up. They didn't show up, man. And I thought those were some of the people who needed it most, right? Single moms and brothers who just were working a dead end bullshit job, who I thought could really learn how to use little things like Robinhood to kind of put $10 or $20 aside and really start to build an education about their financial situation, to change mental habits in regards to money. But it is what it is, man. Some people are going to want the education, and you can't force feed it to them. It is what it was. So, yes, indeed. I'm out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Till next time, take care. I'm out. Yeah, that's the mentality you got to break, Jeremy B. You got to break that mentality, bro. Yes, indeed. Peace.